Cool. Free sound. So yeah, this is free sound. It's cool, except it hasn't loaded properly. Anyway, and like camels, you know, as an example of how wide their stuff is. Their range is now. It's going to take a while. Oh no, here we go. It isn't loading properly, so I'm not sure what that's all about. There isn't supposed to be a big white spot there. But yeah, so you can see there's, you know, dozens and dozens. I think they probably go on for pages of different camel noises. Yeah, I was about to say, for instance, such as that, if you need a noise like that.
Did that camel know it was being recorded?
I'm not sure. Did they get a signed agreement? That's the question. Camel chewing, it's pretty nice and useful. There you go. There was a cool water one. It was really weird, but I don't know which one it is. Here you go. Ah, this is it. Apparently this is what it sounds like when they regurgitate water.
Oh, sounds like
Nice, huh? So yeah, so free sound has thousands upon thousands of different sounds that are all, and the good thing about free sound is that everything on this site, you'll see, so Creative Commons isn't a central repository. We're going to talk in a second about how you find it. But you'll see on that that fact sheet, some of them it says, you know, these sites, all the material is under Creative Commons license. These sites, some of the material is under Creative Commons licenses. That's because you can put a license on anything. You can put it on any web page, on any document, any printed out book, that kind of thing that you want. And so you normally have to look for the license and stuff like that. But the cool thing about free sound and some of the other sites that you know all have Creative Commons stuff is that you know already that everything on this is under Creative Commons license, so you can basically let your kids run wild, you know. Same with CC Mixter. That's a good website where all the music is under CC and it's all available for remix. So that's a really good resource because you can find a lot of CC licensed music. There's tons and tons of it, but especially if you're working with younger kids, it can get confusing for them if they have to work out whether or not they're allowed to change it. You know, I mean, maybe it's not confusing for them, but it can get frustrating if they find 5 or 6 songs in a row under a Creative Commons license, but none of them let them remix it, so they can't use it in their video. But, you know, so CC Mixter, free sound, you know, finding a few websites that are really good to use is a really good way to go with kids. And so you can see, you know, you go to, if this had loaded properly, it'd look much prettier, but you go to where the sound is, and you scroll down, and here we have our license. You can see it doesn't have the license button you recognise. That's because it's using one of those other licenses I was talking about that some people use. But it still has some rights reserved in the little CC circle. They're the 2 main symbols. And, of course, the phrase Creative Commons. It's got the link. Click on the link. Go to the deed. Tells you what you can and can't do.
Does it cost any money, or is there some sort of registration process to copyright your stuff with Creative Commons?
No, there is. You literally, because copyright exists automatically. The moment I do a squiggle, I already have copyright in that. There's no registration for copyright. And Creative Commons is just a set of licenses. So I grab a license, I stick it on that squiggle, and that's it. And it's all completely free. It's all out there. There's tons and tons of educational material. This is the main website. There's all kinds of stuff.
But if you did a squiggle
and
I did a squiggle like 2 minutes later that looked exactly the same as your squiggle, unless you Creative Commons it on a certain date with a certain time, you don't have any argument you did the squiggle before I did. Well,
not Creative Commons so much, but yeah, that's what the copyright. Yeah, exactly. You know the copyright symbol, the C with the name and date. That's what people use that for. That actually doesn't mean anything. Like it's not legally required in Australia. It used to be legally required in the US, but it isn't even there now. But yeah, that's supposed to be a way of kind of saying yes, I made it on this day and all that kind of thing. But technically. You know, sort of, yes, you're right. It's very, very important to have evidence that you created something and when you created it and that kind of thing. But technically, it doesn't affect your Creative Commons usage at all. There you go.
How would you suggest, like, if we were to register something like, we'll put the Creative Commons mark on it. Like, I'm not mass producing work or anything. I'm just saying in general. Does it come with a date? Like, does it say a time on
No, it basically comes with the license. Let's choose a license. So you go to the license generator, go to the main Creative Commons website, you click on License Your Work, and you get taken to this fabulous little thing that asks you, like, so rather than having to choose between the licenses, you just answer 2 questions. So do we want our stuff to be able to be used commercially, yes or no? Show of hands, yes? No, okay. We're all anti-commercial people. We don't like Virgin Mobile. Do we want people to change it? Yeah. Do we want them to have to share alike, like, you know, use the same license? Are we only going to share with people who share with others? Cool. That's what we reckon. And as you can see, this is how this ends up being the most popular license. We're living in Australia. It's already worked that out. And we can do, let's say that we are doing a video. It's called CC Rocks. And you don't have to put this stuff in, but it's really cool when you do. I'll show you what happens. And it's us who you attribute to, and more permissions. If you want to ask us something about the work, then you come to our website, creativecommons.cc. There you go. So you say, okay, I've answered all that stuff. Select my license, and ta-da! It gives you the license. So this tells you the most appropriate license for you. We've chosen Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike 2.5 Australia. It gives you the license buttons. We can choose between different buttons, the little skinny one, the old one, the big fat one, and you can see when I click on them, the metadata down there changes. Because what this is metadata that you basically grab from here and you stick it in your website, and that little button should just appear automatically as a link. And the really cool thing is that if you put the metadata in properly, it can be found by search engines. People like Google and Yahoo and stuff like that can actually find web pages that have that license on it. So it means that, this is what I was going to show you in a second, but it means that you guys can find the material. There are 160 million things out there under Creative Commons at the moment. It's really very popular. But it's all on different websites. It's not a centre repository. How do you find it? By searching for it. But so it doesn't come with a date or anything. It just comes with basically this button or the link. You know, as we said, there's lots of different ways you could indicate CC licensing. So, but what you can do is you can put copyright, us, 2008, and then underneath it you can put a Creative Commons license. That copyright thing doesn't conflict with the Creative Commons. What a lot of people do actually is put the double C, the circle with the 2 C's in it, and then us 2008, and that kind of thing.